Yeah, Nilay, I'm very curious to know that, like what compelled you to get into this space of sexual wellness?
So whenever we talk about sexual health, we just talk about condom.
I feel it's important to just talk and say ki, what if it's this problem, or if the guy genuinely has a problem, if he has an issue, be it erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation, then they have to find solutions.
Yeah.
Because it hammers their confidence. Insecurities बहुत होती है, plays on their mind,
Yeah.
and that leads to the problem becoming worse.
Yes.
There is something called situationship now.
Yes.
From your experience, what is situationship?
So
not your
situationship-
experience, sorry, from your interviews.
Yeah, I've not experienced a situationship, but situationship is basically I'm talking to a guy. The guy is interested in me, I'm interested in him. Nobody is committing. कोई किसी को ये नहीं बोल रहा you're my girlfriend, you're my
Intimate?
boyfriend. Yes, intimate. Intimacy तो आजकल first step होती है. Yes. Yeah, there's textationship also.
Sorry?
Textationship.
What is that?
But
I'm
Just
learning.
texting and sexting.
Sexting.
What?
Yes. Don't tell me you don't know what sexting is.
Sexting I know, but textationship I don't know.
कितनी बार किया तुमने?
ऐसे हेल्दी है, इसमें कुछ बुरा नहीं है.
कौन सा?
Textationship, no man.
Sexting is healthy
Yeah.
for your fingers.
Hi Dino, hi Nilay. Welcome to Men's Locker Room.
Thank you and hi.
Hi. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Yes, I think we're very happy to have you guys here because, हम इस podcast पे we often talk about different important issues to men. We talk about career, we talk about health, relationships, life, and, we've just sort of realized that the core of all of this eventually comes down to be a man's confidence and how a man really feels. And that is what we really try to uncover with these conversations. And
We call it the locker room.
Yes, we call it the locker room.
I want to know why it's called the locker room.
So it's called the locker room because you know how when people or when men are in a locker room, they feel that they don't have to put any mask on. They can just be themselves.
Not necessarily.
Really?
Not necessarily. Even men in locker rooms have a bit of a facade. Don't you know that? Come on, it's a locker room.
No, I don't know that. Please tell me.
There's always, locker room is not, you can have a free conversation, but everyone's really obviously monitoring the conversations. There's a locker rooms, one-upmanship. You never know. Everyone's different, right? So it's not tell-all if you think that's what it is in a locker room. Yes, it's more open because there's only men there and they're more free to have a conversation. But is it tell-all? I don't know. But this is locker room and you would expect us to talk about men.
Yes, talk about men and just how a man really feels and how a man really navigates through the motions of life. Because, from the conversations that I've had with men on this podcast, I've just realized that it's not easy for men. It's not as easy as the society makes it seem. And
no society makes it seem easy for man.
Actually, relatively to a woman, it does seem that being a man in this world is sort of easy.
Right.
So maybe on relative terms, yes.
Is that the perception?
That is the perception.
Okay.
And maybe, we're here to break it and we're here to, have like a unique conversation because I do feel that you guys are uniquely placed to talk about all of this. And if I can start with you, Dino.
Yes.
So, you've been regarded as, one of the most attractive men out there. And one question that I'm asking on behalf of a lot of men and boys is, how does a man get to a place where he gets that kind of attention in life?
I've been asked this question a couple of times, to which I don't have a fantastic answer. How do I get to this place? Well, see, attention was not my intention. Attention happened along the way because of what I do. It's a result of who I am. And I'm okay with it. I'm comfortable with it. I'm not uncomfortable with it. I used to be uncomfortable with it initially, but I'm absolutely fine with it. Sometimes it makes you feel good. For any man, attention always makes them feel good. It's great for the ego, even though we don't want to bring ego into the picture. But it's always good for a man's ego, the attention. How did I get to this place? I got here living life as normal as possible, doing the things that I wanted to do. Following on some of my dreams. Fortunately, I got into modeling in the film industry, which obviously, which gets you a lot of attention. And like I said, this wasn't my intention. This wasn't the path I chose. I dreamt about it, and the path sort of chose me. If I had to say it in a manner of saying it, it kind of cleared the way for me. And one thing led to another, and then thereafter I got attention. And it felt great. To be honest, it did feel good. But it wasn't something I worked upon, focusedly, in a focused way to just get attention. It's the job I do and the perks that come with it.
Right. I think काफी बार यही लोग गलती करते हैं कि they don't realize that, maybe if you choose a path for yourself and you do it well enough, maybe everything else will just come as a byproduct instead of, sort of chasing
बिल्कुल
after
सही. मैं
it.
यही भी मानता हूँ कि जो भी तुम करोगे, whatever it is, अगर ठीक से करोगे, कहीं ना कहीं एक अटेंशन मिल जाएगा. क्योंकि मैं फिल्म इंडस्ट्री से जुड़ा हूँ, मॉडलिंग इंडस्ट्री से जुड़ा हूँ, तो उसकी वजह से शायद ज़्यादा अटेंशन मिल रहा है. बट इफ़ यू लुक एट इवन पीपल इन कॉर्पोरेट्स और एंटरप्रेन्योर्स जो अप एंड कमिंग है, मैं एंटरप्रेन्योर्स इसलिए कह रहा हूँ बिकॉज आजकल वो ट्रेंड चल रहा है, एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, new age ideas, young guys who are coming up with great ideas like him.
Yes.
And what he's founded. So when you start doing well, कहीं ना कहीं एक attention मिल जाएगा. It doesn't have to be from the whole country, but in your space, in the space of entrepreneurs, for instance. अगर आपने, just correct me if I'm wrong, if you raise money, for instance, आप बाहर से money raise करोगे, then it's written everywhere and people get to know कि अच्छा, Nilay has raised money for his company and he gets attention. So attention comes in all forms. Size is different. What kind of attention, how many people get to know you, that's different. It really depends on what you do.
Yeah, and also what kind of attention, because
definitely.
because so a lot of young people watch this podcast. A lot of young people are our audience on this channel, और उनके लिए बस यही होता है कि यार, how do I feel confident enough to sort of attract female attention? So maybe we can start by asking you guys, what according to you makes a man feel confident?
You want to start with that, Nilay? Should I introduce Nilay first?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So Nilay is the founder of this very interesting company. It's to do with sexual wellness. हमारा यहाँ sexual wellness people think is taboo and it's what is this sexual wellness? But it deals with helping mostly men at this point with a lot of their sexual issues. It's part education, but part also selling certain products which help men overcome certain problems. They have solutions for problems. And I wouldn't call them problems. A lot of it stems from insecurities and maybe and lack of confidence maybe.
Yeah, I was coming to that.
So that's Nilay. He can go on.
Yeah, so definitely, like, we have been all to that age when I was young, 20, 21. You have, you're in your college and you just want to be one of the best guys. Everybody's falling for you. And I think the definition of confidence changes as you grow in your life, the maturity which you come. So like at 15, your confidence definition is very different than you're 18 and then you're 30. So I think there are ways men can feel confident. I think best thing I've learned is self-love, where if you love yourself, everybody will love you. And I have learned this since my childhood, that when I used to love myself, I was always confident. And it's more about, I believe a lot in energy transfer. So if you are loving yourself, you are having a very positive aura around you. And that's how you attract that very positivity with different people around you. So I think that's what leads to a lot of confidence, particularly to what I do. As Dino mentioned, we are into sexual health. This is actually a very interesting topic where men at different age group lose a lot of confidence because of these issues. So I think that is one thing where with science and education and products we are trying to solve. But all of this combined together, which is your loving yourself, having some love around your family, empathy, all these things eventually leads to a lot of confidence in men. Yeah.
What about you, Dino? What do you think makes a man confident? Yeah.
Well, confidence varies with every person, right? Like Nilay said, as you grow older, your confidence, you learn so much about life. You have many life experiences which help with your confidence and confidence building.
Yeah.
I've met some people in my teenage years who were far more confident than I was. And I always wondered, how were they so confident?
Yeah.
Right? And I've met people now at a much later stage in my life who are not so confident still. So everyone's has some sort of confidence level which is either high or low at whatever stage in life they are at, because you don't know what circumstances they've been through. A youngster, we don't know what their upbringing was, what happened in their house for them to have confidence or not have confidence. So a lot of it starts from there. And confidence comes in various ways. I mean, if you're shy also as a person and you're timid as a person, you think you lack the confidence because you're just shy, right? And some people, because of their shyness, cannot be outgoing and cannot mix with people, cannot socialize, cannot talk to a girl, for instance, or cannot make friends too easily. And those are issues. Those are, I wouldn't say issues. They stem from somewhere within that upbringing. Kids who are brought up in a fairly fantastic home where you have the mother and the father instilling so much confidence in their kids from a very young age, making them happy, making them outgoing. You see them more vibrant, you see them more confident. So a lot has to do with upbringing. Right? And that's where it starts. But if you didn't have that confidence, I remember when I can speak from myself, right? When I was growing up, my parents always encouraged us to go out, play sport. But I was a shy person. I really was a very shy person. For me I could make friends, but to talk to a girl, I would be very shy, right? If I liked a girl in school or in college, I really would be shy. I didn't know how to go and approach and speak. Now it's a different story. But
now you have women approaching you.
but what I'm saying is you start to understand your dynamic with people. It's like a social structure. You understand your place. I feel the whole confidence building situation is like a game. If you're aware of yourself or growing up, you'll understand, okay, this is my drawback. And once you make that first move and you try and overcome that little shyness or that fear, we all have that fear of rejection.
Yes.
And rejection is what leads to a little lack in confidence, that what if she or what if he or what if somebody says no or puts you down. You don't want to take that rejection, right? It hits you and then it makes your confidence level fall some more. But if you're okay with understanding at that point, however old you are, that's okay. It's okay to hear no. It's okay to have someone say, no, I don't want to talk to you. It's okay. It's fine. There are hundreds of people who would want to talk to you. But when you get that no from someone you're trying to talk to, it hits you a little bit. But once you overcome that, then you realize that, life is okay. Life is not that serious. Don't take yourself so seriously. Enjoy yourself. And you start to build your confidence. You build confidence by meeting more people, socially being more active. You understand your persona, your character, your personality, and that's how one would build a confidence. But for some people who keep getting battered and battered and battered, it becomes tougher for them. And they have to do a lot of work on themselves to really gain confidence. So it's, there's so much that goes into building a person's confidence if they're not confident from the beginning.
Yeah, I agree. And, I've actually been writing about sexual wellness and intimacy for like 3 years, 3 to 4 years. Yeah, at MensXP.
Really?
I'm an assistant editor, yes.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so, I've read so many articles that essentially talk about how, if you were to categorize everything that you guys have said, कि 3 चीजें हैं जिसके ऊपर, एक मर्द का होल एंड सोल कॉन्फिडेंस अगर उसको कैटेगराइज करे तो डिपेंड हो सकता है. वन इज फिजिकल अट्रैक्टिवनेस, बिकॉज स्पेशली व्हेन यू आर यंग यू वांट टू लुक गुड. आई मीन द वर्स्ट डेज आर व्हेन यू वेक अप इन द मॉर्निंग, यू लुक योरसेल्फ इन द मिरर एंड यू डोंट लाइक व्हाट यू आर लुकिंग एट. एंड वीव ऑल हैड दोज डेज. Women have bad hair days, they have bad skin days. I'm sure men also have days when they feel like यार क्या है ये, I wish I would look better. So one is physical attractiveness. Second is professional success. And I think, it adds to Nilay's point when he said that, as in when you grow older, I think the more rounds of success you have, behind your back, it gives you confidence to sort of go out in the world and,
Yeah.
one more day, one
Yeah.
more time, I'll give it one more shot.
Yeah.
And the third is surprisingly relationships.
Yeah.
Because a good, happy relationship, and I actually was reading a study that recently said that, no amount of money or promotions in life can make a person feel happy as much as a happy, stable relationship.
That's debatable.
Yeah? Why?
The happy relationship is debatable. I think it takes it takes a bit of everything, because there are not many happy relationships I've seen when the money is a bit low.
Oh yeah,
I'm telling you.
he's absolutely right.
I
on
mean,
that
you
part, I
you
agree, yeah.
you try and see if the couple, for instance, are struggling to make ends meet. It's not a really happy relationship. It's a tough one. I mean, they might be there for each other, but in many cases they fall apart.
I think philosophically लोगों को ये लगता है कि
लोगों को
बस
लगता है
साथ होना चाहिए, but actually में
साथ होना चाहिए, वो बहुत जरूरी होता है, but in some cases मैंने देखा कि यार जब पैसा नहीं होता, because unfortunately our world revolves around making ends meet.
yeah.
शुरुआत से, बचपन से they teach us that यार कुछ तो करना है, क्योंकि पैसा कमाना, क्योंकि अगर फैमिली की जरूरत है, you need to take care. As a man, it's inherently you're the man. I mean, it comes down from the prehistoric times when you're the hunter-gatherer.
Yeah.
We have been living in a capitalist society. We may say we are socialist and all, but honestly, everything is capitalism around it. The
Yeah.
set we are having, the mics and everything, it's just part of capitalism. So I think that is something which is very, very important what he's mentioning. Relationship, definitely it's important to be happy, but that money part is very,
plays a big part in your happiness. If you're a single person and you're earning and you're doing well, great, money is for you, you're fine. And then you can choose to have a partner or not. Or a partner can choose to have you if the woman is also doing well.
Yeah.
And she's earning and the man is not earning. That's great. Somebody needs to be making ends meet, right? वो मेरे ख्याल से बहुत जरूरी होता है to make it a healthy, happy relationship. कई बार मैंने ये भी देखा कि sometimes the girl is earning so much more and the guy is not really earning, and the woman is upset.
Yeah. Because कहीं ना कहीं उसको
उसको
चाहिए
लगता है
कि
नहीं, उसको
be
लगता
the
है-
man.
हाँ, correct. कभी कभार ये कहता है कि be the man, कभी कभार ये कहता है
Yeah.
it's a woman's world and everything. But I support everything. I don't judge on that. I just say that, coming back to the point, money is finance is important not to only build your confidence, to even keep your relationship happy and healthy. I'm not saying lots of it. I'm just saying just enough. And in today's world, it's tough. It's tough. It's not easy. So, one has to just go out there right from getting out of school and college and think about, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Even women are going out and saying, what are we going to do? Because if we don't get a partner, we have to survive. We've got parents to take care of, family hoti hai. So, where were we anyway? We've gone away from this topic completely. But my point is relationships. Yes, on the statistic you were giving us, the 0.3 about relationships, happy relationships, money is important.
Yeah.
I would honestly think so.
I think only what I've seen in general, old Bollywood movies, early 90s, where you used to have like a poor hero and then a very rich heroine, and these people used to get married. But at least in my I'm 32, so I haven't seen people having this in real life, and have learned it hard way. You can say that money really plays an important role to boost your confidence, to have a good stable relationship, not only with your partner but even with your friends. Like and it's a harsh truth that once you rise up the ladder, you really it's not you that you're not looking at your friend. Your friends also get detached from you if you haven't reached to the same level, because that's where the difference of the capital come, and that relationship what we're talking about right now goes for a toss. So it's a harsh reality, but yeah, that's true.
तो यार एक इंसान डील कैसे करता है इतने सारे प्रेशर्स के साथ? आई मीन ग्रोइंग अप लाइक यू मेंशन्ड कि बचपन से बोला जाता है दैट यू हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ द फैमिली, यू हैव टू गेट ब्रेड ऑन द टेबल, यू हैव टू गो आउट एंड वर्क हार्ड, बिकॉज ट्रेडिशनल रोल एक मर्द का वही है, राइट, टू टेक केयर ऑफ द फैमिली. सो हाउ डू यू गाइज डील विद द प्रेशर, और हाउ हैव यू गाइज डेल्ट विद इट?
Well, in today's day and age, it's the same way a woman deals with it. Because आजकल की जो औरतें होती हैं, they go out and they work.
Yeah.
And they support families and they put meals on the table and they make ends meet. So it's the same thing. I mean, women do it, men do it. We all have to do it. We learn and we fall and we pick ourselves up and hopefully build our confidence again. And try. You got to keep trying. You got to keep trying. और कोई चारा है नहीं. You just have to figure out ways and work hard. So unless you give up. And when you give up, you say, people come and tell you, no, don't give up, keep fighting. But it goes back to that, what's your purpose in life, right?
Yeah.
If you every morning you wake up, if you have a purpose, then you have a drive to go. चाहे तुम्हारी जेब में कुछ भी है, but अगर purpose है, इरादा है, focus है, मेहनत करने के लिए तुम तैयार हो, nothing can stop you, really. But you need to have that grit to go and do it. And that only comes from within. It cannot be taught. It can come from within. And most people do have it. Some people lose direction on the way because their confidence gets beaten. कि कुछ नहीं हो रहा है यार, मेरे साथ कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. But I feel if you keep chipping, एक दिन वो हीरा निकल के आएगा.
Right.
So you just got to keep going. Just got to keep trying, keep going. There are good days and bad days. We all have it. I've had terrible days. I've had such bad days. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Right? I've had those days. And I think everybody at some point in their life might face it, might not even face it. But मुसीबतें हैं बहुत. And you just have to wake up in the next morning and say, चलो करते हैं.
You have to power through.
Just have
Yeah,
to.
it's very important. I've seen people. It's my own self. I come from a very normal middle class family, dad in bank, but always the ambition was high. Like I have to do something. So in a very early age, since college, started doing some random business, and the mindset was always कुछ तो करना है, कुछ फोड़ेंगे. And then that's where I go to the first point, the self-love, the self-confidence. So you have that confidence कि कुछ तो कर लेंगे. So I think that's where, you keep on building that over a period of time, and eventually, there is this very interesting, I really like that TV series, TVF Pictures, which Naveen has this dialogue ना कि अगर कमरे में अंधेरा है और बत्ती ऑन करनी है तो just किसी ना किसी स्विच से तो बत्ती चलेगी. And I think it is very real. As an entrepreneur, I've learned it in a way that there have been major failures where you're really failing and you're like frustrated, depressed, you go into anxiety, you have to talk to your family and कि अभी बंद हो गया, ये हो गया, वो हो गया. All those things come to your mind. Investor नहीं खुश है, numbers खराब हो रहे हैं, shareholders आपको daily बजा रहे हैं. Then suddenly, at the end of the tunnel there is a light because you keep on doing. And the same thing, end में light जली जाती है. So I think that is very important from my experience I've seen.
Right.
Yeah, but I also feel the universe provides. On the day when you're really down and out, if your intention is clean and good and you mean it from your heart and you know from your head that you can work hard, कुछ ना कुछ हो ही जाता है. Something happens. It's really, I've had this experience. I'm sure many people have. कि on that last day, जब तुम्हें लगता है कि यार
बिल्कुल नहीं हो रहा.
Yeah.
and the next day something happens. मेरे साथ हुआ है. So I only speak from experience, and I feel the universe is there for you, watching when you're falling, when you're breaking, and it'll come and help you. But you have to show the grit and the intention and the will to want it bad enough.
बचपन में पेरेंट्स कहते थे ना कि God only helps those who help themselves.
Yeah,
So I
that is
think,
it.
yeah, the day you stop trying yourself, I think the universe also is like, why should I?
Yeah.
भगवान जैसे कहते हैं ना, भगवान तुम्हारे अंदर ही है. You have to help that Bhagwan to help you.
Yeah.
So you have to help yourself. There's no other way.
Yeah. As a woman, I felt कि लाइक यू सेड कि प्रेशर सब पे हैं, यू नो, लाइक लड़कों पे प्रेशर्स हैं, लड़कियों पे प्रेशर्स हैं, कुछ बहुत हद तक सेम है और कुछ बहुत हद तक अलग भी हैं. बट वन थिंग दैट इज रियली हेल्प्ड मी इज माई फीमेल फ्रेंडशिप्स, you know, because I feel that, and a lot of other women also feel that we still have a community where we, you
Yeah.
know, where we can sit और हम सारी चीज़ों के बारे में बात कर सकते हैं. हम relationships के बारे में बात कर सकते हैं, हम अपने bosses के बारे में बात कर सकते हैं, हम parents के बारे में बात कर सकते हैं. You name it and we can talk about it for hours, right? I do feel कि लड़कों की भी बहुत important होती है male friendships. They exist and they are deep also. But I do feel that, you know, कहीं ना कहीं we're okay to talk about cars and responsibilities and, you know, what they want to do in life. But वो feelings वाली बात जहाँ पे आती है ना, जहाँ पे insecurities की बात आती है, I do feel कि कहीं ना कहीं वो male friendships होते हुए भी वो safe space थोड़ा सा lacking है. What do you guys feel? Like, what has your experience been?
So yeah, we have enough. If I've just talked from a data perspective, then I think after serving more than 7 lakh men in last 2.5 years, one thing we have realized, yes, that's absolutely right, and that is the reason they look out for discretion in our business. You know, they want to talk to somebody, they don't want to see the face. And men, I think it goes all the way back to centuries and centuries. पीछे अगर चलें तो men have been brought up like that, you know, the kings and the sole you know, bread owner of the house. So वो I think वो हमारा वो DNA में वो
Ingrained.
ingrain हो गया है कि ये बातें हम नहीं कर सकते. दोस्त तो बहुत दूर की बात है. You can't talk to your brother, your father. मतलब I don't know how what was Dino's relation with his dad, but at least at even my age, if I remember correctly, my mom actually teases me, why don't you go and hug your dad? So I'm like, I can hug you 500 times, but I can't hug my dad because it's very awkward for me if I have to put it that way. And it's been there for long. Like, I haven't ever hugged my close friends. We all shake hands. Like, I've seen women, you know, they all hug each other and they all like, oh wow, nice to meet you. I'm like, for us it is thoda sa wo distance rehta hai. And I think even I've tried researching about it, why we are like that. I think it all boiled down to the old historian period where men have been brought up like that. So I think that has been ingrained so much in our own DNA. Like, Dino is very close to me, but I think I've never hugged you.
Let's keep it that way.
Yeah. See.
Don't hug me.
Yeah.
No. We can hug, man. It's okay. He's right, for sure. Nilay is right. Maybe it's ingrained in our DNA because a lot of men don't like to, a lot of men, I'm not generalizing as all men, because there are some men who are very free in speaking about their emotions with their parents, with their brothers, with their family. It really depends on your upbringing and the comfort level you have with either your parents or your siblings or your friends, right? Me personally, I'm a very closed person. I'll be honest. Do I speak with many people about how I feel? No, not too many. But if I had to go to a psychiatrist, I'd open up because she's a stranger or he's a stranger and they would listen to me. And maybe sometimes you prefer talking to a stranger for fear of being judged. That's the only reason. Now you ask yourself, so what's the problem? Why? I mean, and there are times actually when I open up to my mother. And there are times when, I'd open up to a few people where even my friends, when I just want a point of view or a perspective, but it leads to a conversation. And then everyone understands what you're trying to say, right? And like Nilay said, women are far easier with expressing themselves and talking. Again, I wouldn't generalize because there are some women who don't want to open up in front of people. So maybe men are afraid because they have to be the man. Because maybe, I don't know, they have to be the man and not express emotion of weakness. Because sometimes emotion could be considered as weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or being sad or upset could be considered as weakness, which is not. But that blurred line over there is what probably mixes things up, where maybe a man, like you said, maybe back in the day, prehistoric times again, if a man showed weakness, it wouldn't go well, either in finding a partner or leading a community of people or even being a king for that matter. So maybe it comes from there that men shouldn't show too much weakness to whoever, right? Always look strong, be strong, because something will work out, right? Maybe it stems from there. Correct me. I don't know. I don't know the psychology behind it. But that's the only thing I can imagine as to why many men do not express themselves so easily. And I mean, we can, like you said, we can talk about cars and we can talk about bikes. But if it comes about, and we can talk about, men like to talk about women and relationships and, and when they can talk about sex and everything. But when it comes to actually saying that, यार उसने मुझे छोड़ दिया, breakup करते हैं उसने मेरे साथ, they'll wait. Some people say it, some people don't. They're shy of approaching it for fear of being, acha, you got broken up with.
Yeah.
So it's really how people react to you which make you want to say or not say.
Right.
So there's so much,
It's a maze.
Yeah,
it's a maze, but you learn to live with it and you learn to deal with it.
Yeah.
You learn to deal with it. Everyone survives and we can have these discussions, but it's not, will it change many things? Will it change a man from saying, you go and, a grown-up person go and say, Mom, you know what, this girl dumped me because it was my fault. Accepting fault is something which everyone needs to do. How many people do it? I don't know.
Because it's also the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, but I think it's the best thing to do. But you only learn this after life experiences.
Yeah.
If you've done wrong, accept it. If you've lied and you've committed something wrong, accept it. Because the universe will make you feel better then.
Yeah.
In some way, it'll correct you. Your karma will be good. But anyway, coming back to your point, I'm going again. I'm diverting into different sections of life. But I'm saying, coming back to your point, it's for some men, it's very tough to be open about their lives and about their relationships and about their emotions and what they're feeling. And like I said, they'd rather talk to a stranger. But I've seen many men who are very open, who love to hug. And I've seen relationships where father, son, fantastic, great, bonding, So there are many relationships like that. So I can't generalize and say, but by and large, I know for a man, it's tough.
It's tough. Do you think कि life थोड़ी सी ज़्यादा easy हो जाती लड़कों के लिए अगर ये safe space exist करता?
I think things are changing now.
Yeah.
I'm a millennial. So my dad comes from a different generation. When I'm meeting these Gen Zs, they have a very different relation with their parents, with their kids. So whatever I have not seen as a kid while growing up, so they all are born in the technology world where internet was easy and cheap.
Yeah.
So they had access to a lot of things, and then you had your social media coming up. So people with all those things, the whole generation is very different. So we may feel if are you a Gen Z?
No, I'm a millennial.
Or you're a millennial.
Yeah.
So if you meet a Gen Z, their parents are very different. So because it's more like, मैंने जो देखा है वो अब मैं आगे नहीं करूँगा. So that thing has started flowing up in a way कि things are, I would not say it was never bad before. I always give credit to my mom and dad where I am today. How they have brought me up. But abhi ke time I'm seeing there is a very much openness coming with this new generation and parents are like that. So वो सारी धीरे मेरे को लगता है जब मेरे बच्चे होंगे या फिर उनके बच्चे होंगे, things will be very different.
Right.
So this is also, I would say, generational gap धीरे because of technology and other things coming in, change हो रहा है काफी ज़्यादा.
इसको कहते हैं evolution.
Yeah, that's
This
true.
is how we all evolve as human beings. If you see human beings in the 1800s and the human beings in the 1900s and 1920s and the 30s and the 50s and the 60s, there's one step removed from the previous generation. So like Nilay is saying also, my parents were brought up with certain values. I grew up rebelling against those values because I thought, ये क्या है? And जब मेरे बच्चे होते हैं, then I will instill my values, what I think is right, into them. और वो लोग शायद rebel करेंगे ये क्या है? And they will instill their values, which they think according to what society structures them at that moment. So like millennials, Gen Z, जो भी है, everyone's got their own point of view on how the world is. And you can't change that. We might have in our DNA ingrained कि ऐसा होना चाहिए, but वो पुराने ज़माने के. And every time you just keep evolving, and I really don't know what it's going to be like in maybe 20 years from now.
I have no idea. I'm honestly scared to imagine.
You shouldn't be scared. I think we should. There's nothing to be scared about, because जैसे my grandparents must have said, I'm scared कि मेरा.
But वो अगर आपके grandparents generation में होते तो वो हो जाते ना scandalize. आजकल के लोगों को Tinder पे date.
So we are seeing this because again it's the same thing, you know.
उनको समझ में नहीं आएगा कि यार ये क्या है ये Tinder, ये
interestingly मेरे को समझ में आया ये.
Instant coffee, instant वो, instant ये सब instant चाहिए.
Instant gratification.
तुरंत मुझे चाहिए. अगर मुझे डेट चाहिए तो टिंडर पे जाऊं या जो भी. I don't take any platform name, but
in fact that entire idea of chase, you know, that a woman would enjoy a guy pursuing her, वो सब चला गया है.
हाँ वो अब अगेन टेक्नोलॉजी लाइक गुड प्रोज एंड कॉन्स, बट इवन पहले भी थिंग्स वर वेरी. अभी जब मैं बड़ा हुआ और मैंने कुछ इंस्टाग्राम पोस्ट देखे और फिर उसके बाद जाके मैंने ना पुराने गाने सुने, तो मुझे समझ में आया नहीं गाने इतने शरीफ थे नहीं कभी. गानों में जो वो फूल एक दूसरे से टकराते थे या जो वो एक्ट्रेस उस टाइम पे बोलती थी,
उसका मतलब क्या था निले? Kindly tell us. Kindly is the name of his brand. Kindly tell us.
Subtle integration.
So वहाँ पे सेम बातें हो रही थी एंड उस टाइम पे हम लोगों को उनके बच्चों को वो awkward लगता होगा, अभी नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को वो awkward लगता है. सो आई थिंक इट्स विद द होल इवोल्यूशन. आई डोंट थिंक कि मेरे अगर ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स अभी आएंगे तो स्कैंडलाइज हो जाएंगे.
हो जाएंगे भाई,
हो जाएंगे
100%. हो जाएंगे कि ये क्या बदतमीजी है. ये बदतमीजी नहीं है.
Situationships. It was a new term for me because I got in this business. So when we started doing all over, and we have a lot of Gen Z employees in the company, a lot to learn from them. So I was like, what is situationship? They're like, it's not relationship. So by the way, मेरे को अभी तक नहीं समझ में आया. So I'm probably not the right person to explain. There is something called situationship now.
From your experience, what is situationship?
So
I mean, not your experience. Sorry, from your interviews.
Yeah, I have not experienced a situationship, but situationship is basically I'm talking to a guy. The guy is interested in me. I'm interested in him. Nobody is committing. कोई किसी को ये नहीं बोल रहा you're my girlfriend, you're my boyfriend. Yes, intimate. Intimacy तो आजकल first step होती है. Yes. And but कोई tag नहीं है. So, you know, it's sort of going with the flow. It's another name for, let's just see where it goes.
It's a sexual relationship with no commitment. No strings attached.
Yes, no strings attached. It's like a situationship. Like we're in a situation, but we don't want to call it a relationship.
So they made a new English vocabulary.
There's textationship also.
Sorry?
Textationship.
What is that? I'm learning.
Texting and sexting.
Sexting?
What?
Yes.
Sending sexual
Don't
text.
tell me you don't know what sexting is.
Sexting I know, but textationship I don't know.
कितनी बार किया तुमने?
वैसे healthy है, इसमें कुछ बुरा नहीं है.
नहीं, but texting.
कौन सा?
Textationship no man.
Sexting is healthy.
Yeah.
For your fingers. Fingers workout हो जाएगा.
हाँ, technologically हाँ उससे से fingers.
Interesting. Which part is interesting?
Yeah.
No, for me this is knowing the textationship. मेरे को एक content piece मिल गया ना.
It's called textation.
Yeah, it's called textationship.
Textationship. Okay, I didn't know there was a word called textationship.
I feel people are just running away from the word relationship और वो कुछ भी बनाएंगे but relationship नहीं बनाएंगे.
Nobody wants to take जिम्मेदारी.
Yeah.
ये जिम्मेदारी नहीं लेनी है तो तुम करो अपना, मैं कर रहा हूँ, मैं अपना करता हूँ. And simple सी बात है.
Yeah.
कि let's just have fun. But I guess that's evolution.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, I was watching this interview, which takes me back to your evolution point. Usme Salman Khan was recently talking about, and so he was basically talking about the redefining of the term masculinity. कि masculinity का भी मतलब over the years, over generations change हुआ है. पहले कुछ और थी, आज कुछ और है. And he said something very interesting. He said that God makes men. God is still making men, but men today don't want to be men anymore. Right? And adding to that, I saw another interview. This was Ajay Devgan. And Ajay Devgan was saying कि यार पुराने टाइम में जो वो हीरो क्वालिटी होती थी ना, लाइक द पीपल, लाइक द एक्टर्स दैट आई हैव सीन और वर्कड विद, वेदर इट वाज an अमिताभ बच्चन or a संजय दत्त, you don't see those alpha hero, dominant personalities in Bollywood anymore.
बैठा हूँ मैं यहाँ आपके सामने हीरो.
What do you guys think? You also experienced,
He's the right
cinema in
person
that
to
kind,
answer that.
in that era.
I guess everyone's ideal of a hero also changes, right? उस जमाने जैसे जब मेरे पिताजी हीरोज के बारे में बात करते हैं, he watched a lot of English movies growing up. So उस जमाने में he was like Paul Newman, Cary Grant, वो very classic, handsome, and those उस जमाने में they were doing movies where they were cowboy movies, taking guns, firing, da da da. That typical man. Now I'm saying typical man because उस
जमाने में वो term था.
there was this whole push of this is the ideal man. Marlboro cigarettes, Marlboro man.
Yeah.
Cowboy
Right,
hat,
macho look.
macho-ness.
ride a bike, drive a car. That was the process of that's a man.
Yeah.
If you look at today, now a lot of people, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of people think some of these billionaires who were nerds first, so-called nerds who become billionaires, now wearing suits, carrying a lot of money, doing fantastically well, confident, got wives, girlfriends, etc. For them, that's an ideal man. For some people today, the generation today, that could be an ideal man. That's my man, not the movie star anymore, right? Yes, some movie stars for me. I mean, I'd say someone like a Brad Pitt, handsome man, right? So we saw different and we understood a different man when we were growing up. That's an ideal man, right? And you wanted to emulate and copy and be that because you thought in your mind, he's getting all the women, everyone likes him, he's a cool dude. जब आप school में होते, college में होते, the best sports person, the man, right? That's why I used to play so much sports because I was the man. I was the man. But what I'm trying to say is people look up to you, right? You're the cool dude in school. You're the cool dude in college. You're the cool dude in movies. You want to emulate that person to be, I want to be like him.
Yeah.
Today's generation, maybe their view of that person is very different, right? Maybe they've evolved into thinking, man ऐसा नहीं होता है, ऐसा होता है. Maybe it's these entrepreneurs who've done really well. For them, that's the man, right? I'm assuming. I'm just thinking how it's probably evolved. So it's very tough to say. Yes, obviously what my father liked as what he thought was the cool guy, the man. Yes, I agree with him because I grew up not far, right, from that age.
Yeah.
But to ask maybe my grandkids or your grandkids now what they think of an ideal man, it probably would be very different.
Not my grandkids.
नहीं होगा?
I'm 32.
हाँ भाई होगा ना. And then I'm just saying, when it happens to ask them that question, like to ask today's young kid, who in his mind is that cool dude?
Yeah.
Because when you're
definition has
growing up
changed.
and when you're in school, I remember my idea of a man was my father and the heroes he used to talk about, right? Cary Grant, Paul Newman, that kind. Then I grew up watching obviously Amit Ji and Shashi Kapoor and all of them, and I was like, wow, these are those guys because they were larger than life on screen. Those were the movies that were loved. People wanted to go and see that action, that angry young man. And for me growing up, that was it. Kids growing up today, they are probably watching different movies. Their fathers probably think an ideal man is not that, but somebody else, maybe, let me take someone from today who maybe in someone else's eyes is not a man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to get examples.
Should I name today's actors?
See, today's actors, like for instance, a lot of people would think, I'm trying to think of someone who's just up and coming and...
Veer Pahadia.
Who?
Veer Pahadia.
Oh, Veer. Right. No, too young. He's not done. He's not done anything right now yet substantial to be like some people might think Ritik. Some kids today might think he was Krish,
Yes.
good guy,
Yes.
man, right? For them, he might be someone they want to emulate, right? But if you go now, take it a generation lower, for them it might be a totally different kind of person who they consider man. Who that is, I don't know. Now we're only talking about actors.
Right.
Like I said, you talk about some people think Elon Musk is a dude.
Yeah.
Some people think Amazon, what's his name?
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos is a dude.
Yeah.
Some people think, that
Mark
Indian
Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg. These are the American ones. I'm talking. Let's bring
Mukesh
it closer.
Bansal.
People like in the entrepreneur world,
Yeah.
Mukesh Bansal, they look up to. They look up to the likes of these people as,
Yes.
wow, they made it. Confident guys, superb men,
Yeah.
right? So everyone's idea of that man evolves, changes. We are only talking from a perspective of the film industry. We haven't asked somebody who works in a totally different industry, who maybe doesn't watch that many movies. His idea of a man might be just his father, right? Because he's grown up seeing his father work really hard,
Yeah.
right? Father might not be a good-looking guy, but he must have struggled to put food on the table. For that bacha, he's saying, my father is my role model.
Yeah. He's my hero.
He's my hero.
Yeah.
So everyone's idea of a man is different. So I can't be judging who should be the man. We talk from a film perspective. Yeah, you want your heroes, right? But there's so many other people who live out in this world,
Yeah.
not just us.
एंड आई डू फील कि पॉप कल्चर का बहुत सारा इम्पैक्ट हम लोगों की साइकी पे भी होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल गोइंग बैक टू अ पॉइंट दैट यू वर एक्चुअली ट्राइंग टू मेक अ वाइल अगो, कि जब दोस्तों के साथ बैठे होते हैं और अगर दोस्तों को ये भी बता दिया कि यार मेरा ब्रेकअप हो गया या फिर कोई ऐसे प्रॉब्लम चल रही है, सो आधे टाइम तो वो इनहिबिशन आ जाती है कि वो लोग मजाक उड़ाएंगे. एंड पॉप कल्चर में, मूवीज में भी यही सब देखा है कि द मोमेंट यू गो टू योर फ्रेंड्स वो मजाक उड़ाते हैं.
But films imitate reality.
Yeah,
so let's
that
be
is also
honest,
true.
films imitate reality. हम कुछ create नहीं करते. Only the futuristic movies they create something, and then reality imitates films in some situations. But most often, film imitates reality. जो होता है वाकई जिंदगी में, we're showing it in movies.
Yeah.
So if it's happened somewhere, it's being shown as a scene.
I agree. जैसे एक stereotype होता है that a lot of men feel very scared कि their girls will go and talk amongst each other कि कि यहाँ पे हम दोनों की बात खत्म हो गई and वहाँ पे the girl will screenshot and share it in the girls group.
Yeah. Happened with me in my college.
Yeah, we've all done it. I'm so sorry.
क्या screenshot भेजे?
नहीं, मेरे साथ नहीं, मतलब मेरे साथ हुआ है.
अच्छा मेरे साथ.
Yeah.
अच्छा आपके साथ share हुए हैं screenshots?
No, so I remember, so there was this girl I used to like a lot. This is my first year in college. And
शादी हो गई तुम्हारी ज़्यादा मत बोलो.
that is okay, but I'm just going back like first year of my college. And this girl I really, so like my, you're in the college in the different zone, different mood altogether. And then one of my college friend, he was a bit naughty guy. My college का हमारा CR था, उसने नंबर लिया, तो जो बंदी मेरे को पसंद है उसका नंबर ढूंढा और उसने मेरे फोन से उसको मैसेज भेज दिया कि मैं तुम्हें बहुत पसंद करता हूँ, all those things. And next day I was famous in college. मतलब even the
Pranks.
the message was sent to the girl, उस तक रहता ठीक था, उसने अपनी दोस्त को भेजा, फिर वो थोड़ी देर कॉलेज के ग्रुप में सर्कुलेट कर रहा था. तो आई वाज वेरी एम्बैरेस्ड. फर्स्ट ईयर में आई वाज मैं हर जगह फेमस था. एंड आई थिंक इसमें आई हैव सीन दिस कि मेन इन जनरल हम लोग एक दूसरे से बात करते हैं, तो वही मेरे साथ जो हुआ मजाक बनाया गया उस चीज का और फिर वो circulate हुआ. But women have seen a very different thing. It's more of sisterhood is actually where women, they talk to each other, they try to keep it in their stomach as much possible.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the whole, when I say, is tarah se I think men and women have been built.
Yeah, I agree. Because, see, women have been guilty of sharing. But we don't
So
do
men,
it to
yeah, come on.
mock. Men also do it, right?
Everyone's guilty
Men
of
fake
sharing.
it so many times कि, हाथ पकड़ा होगा और मैं तो आज मेक आउट करके आया and all of that. It
बहुत बार
happens.
होता है यार.
बहुत बार ही
कुछ
होता
ज़्यादा
है.
भी बोल लेते हैं.
हाँ, और भी ज़्यादा बोल देते हैं.
बट कुछ और बोल लेते हैं.
And the number of, I don't know if you guys know about this platform called Reddit.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so if you
Active
ever
user.
want wild stories about Reddit, go to that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes, it fucks you
NSFW,
up.
do you know? Yeah. So there's something called NSFW in Reddit where we get a lot of content ideas.
NSFW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it
means
full form?
Not safe for work. So if you're sitting on
So like
at
18 plus
work,
content. So,
Yeah.
so like So whenever I have to do my competition research, if people are posting about them, and if even people are posting about our product, so
आपने
when
लिखा होता है सब
I have got my own product reviews in a very bit of a dirty way, but
Yeah.
at least मुझे पता चला कि product काम
Because
करता है.
people come and discuss everything there. For example, a lot of boys discuss कि यार they are not comfortable, discussing their sexual health problems.
Yes.
To other people or to other friends because उनको लगता है कि यार ये लोग तो सिर्फ मजाक उड़ाएंगे.
Wait, there's a thing again, fear कि यार I'll be judged.
Exactly.
So they come on the Reddit platform में मैं कौन सी दुनिया में हूँ यार ये Reddit.
It's the same thing. जैसे आपने बोला ना कि कभी-कभी एक stranger से बात करने में अच्छा feel होता है because no one's going to judge you.
Correct.
So you're sitting behind a screen. There's a username.
Correct.
Nobody knows
But
you. You
even
type
Even the
it
usernames
away.
are random, you know.
की
Some
खासियत यही है ना कि यार
हाँ.
मैं चेहरा नहीं दिखा सकता हूँ.
Yes.
people have weird
बस सवाल
names.
तो पूछ सकता हूँ
XYZ.
Yeah.
Please
So
कोई solution दे दो
random
मुझे.
as like the kind of threads that I read sometimes they don't let me sleep because I'm like कि लोग क्या-क्या discuss करे, but it's interesting and refreshing also because इसी बहाने शायद बात हो रही है उन topics के ऊपर जिस पे नहीं
I
होती
need to
थी.
see this.
Yes.
I want
Remind
to know
me to show you a few
Please,
threads.
I want to know what people are talking about.
It's actually very
Everything.
interesting. So even we have got some interesting marketing ideas from there.
Yeah, and I was wondering कि आपने what made you delve into this space of sexual wellness? Because for me, I became very curious about writing all of this when I realized that there is so much that people don't know about and they talk about in private, right? And वहाँ पे अगर misinformation आ गई तो आपकी life में misinformation आ गई.
Correct.
Yeah, Nilay, I'm very curious to know that what compelled you to get into this space of sexual wellness.
So I'll take 5 minutes to explain this because it's a very interesting story.
And then
sorry
he met
for
me.
that. Yeah.
And then he met me.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's
Very, very-
wellness.
Very, very important part actually.
Okay.
So we this during COVID and I was dating my wife at that point of time, and so a lot of dates started during COVID, and we were discussing that I'd sold a company in past. I was figuring out what next for me, and then I said I wanted to do something in healthcare because I come from a healthcare family. So the idea was all around, let's do something which creates a larger impact in the society. So we came up with a concept in IVF industry. So me and my wife, we started this. She joined me. I requested her because I wanted a female perspective, and we named the company called Janani. So went in the market, quickly raised capital, $1 million plus. We were trying to solve for men and women wellness, and women were playing a key important part. While building the business and we started building a product, so we ended up creating something like a at-home semen test kit. So men can actually test their semen health in home. So one of the first kind of invention in the country. We got a lot of media attention. Everybody was writing about us, from TechCrunch to Forbes and all the good, the best of the best publications. But when we started building the business, we realized over a period of time in 2 years that actually the problem we're trying to solve, I'm not an expert in that. When it especially comes to women wellness, the reason is a lot of companies are in the market or were in the market who were selling products to women. And it was just product like minoxidil, vitamin C, claiming that it's going to solve for your PCOD or your infertility issues. But I never wanted to get in that direction because we coming from the science background, we realized that women in general is very different than men's body, where one hormone goes for a toss, the whole body goes for a toss. So, your AMH level to your estrogen to those things. Yeah. So it's very complicated. So women need customized solution. And to build a business which is scalable enough, you can't build a customized solution business which can be, a lot of companies are doing great things now. But at least we decided at that point that probably not the right sector for us to touch the women wellness. But we never wanted to leave this sector because this was something which could actually create a lot of impact. And during Janani, we learned a lot of things because we used to get very interesting calls. When we were doing semen testing, we used to get calls from men. And as you rightly said, men don't talk to each other. But if there is a psychiatrist, if there is a doctor, they open up. We used to get a call that, I'm depressed, I'm not able to have great sex with my wife, and this makes me sometimes feel that I should, go outside and try to basically cheat on my wife. Or, after your semen test, the reports came and the semen health was really bad. Now, what should I do if my wife get to know I don't get erection, I have these issues, that issues, lower confidence. So then we realized in Janani's journey that actually men are really facing a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Because of course there's a lot of issues to solve for women, but as a man I could connect with a lot of men. कि यार if we pick this topic which is जहाँ पे अभी इंडस्ट्री देखी जाए काफी स्कैटर्ड है, काफी फ्रैगमेंटेड है, मतलब मैं बचपन से हम सब देखते हैं लाइक बंगाली बाबा, जुबेरी दवा खाना. इफ यू आर फ्रॉम दैट नॉर्थ बेल्ट यू विल सी दिल्ली हरियाणा दिल्ली यूपी हाईवे पे सब जगह पे लिखा हुआ है कि अपना इलाज कराए, गुप्त रोग का इलाज कराए. आई वाज लाइक यार इट्स अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक टू टच बिकॉज बहुत बड़ी इंडस्ट्री है, अनटच्ड है. इस पे कोई ENY PWC किसी का रिपोर्ट नहीं आया है बिकॉज बहुत फ्रैगमेंटेड है. एंड हम एक ही चीज जानते हैं, कॉन्डोम. सो व्हेनेवर वी टॉक अबाउट सेक्सुअल हेल्थ वी जस्ट टॉक अबाउट कॉन्डोम. सो आई सेड कि हमारा जो लर्निंग रहा है जननी में विच वाज ऑल साइंस बिकॉज वी आर वेरी वेरी साइंटिफिक कंपनी, व्हाई डोंट वी यूज दैट लर्निंग टू क्रिएट समथिंग फॉर मेन वेयर वी विल इम्पार्ट एजुकेशन on one hand, दूसरे एंड पे we will create solutions never heard about which actually go and solve problem which men's are facing when it comes to their sexual health.
Right.
That was the whole that's how Kindly was born.
And I think that's a very interesting journey because, everybody wants to be good in bed. Like whether it's a man or it's a woman, we live in a very evolved society where there, of course, used to be a time when all of this was taboo. But right now, I see so many people, who go on to matrimonial websites, and one of the criteria जिसके ऊपर वो एक लड़का लड़की decide मतलब choose करेंगे, sexual compatibility is very important. It is something,
In matrimony websites.
Matrimony websites पे पता है लोग हुकअप के लिए भी आ रहे हैं. तो आजकल वो तो कुछ भी हो रहा है.
I've heard, but how is
इसमें लिखा है sexual compatibility?
हाँ, like a lot of people say that we're open to, like experimenting.
Before getting married.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes.
मतलब situationship.
Situationship turn हो जाएगी अगर वो एक relationship में नहीं turn हुई तो.
अच्छा.
But yeah, so for a lot of people now, sexual compatibility is a big factor.
But
पहले तो नहीं होता था.
But हाँ अभी शायद बोलता है, but उससे पहले शायद बोलता नहीं था.
We should check with Anupam Mittal if he has put in their
No, but I'm assuming because before I guess nobody could say कि नहीं पहले sex try करना.
पहले तो बोलने में भी शर्म आती थी ना. हाँ, but आजकल because people are so open and love marriage का भी concept is widely accepted. So not everybody does it, but I have legit heard stories. I have legit heard women, my friends, who've been on matrimonial websites, and they've come across profiles जहाँ पे the guy has been very open about testing sexual compatibility. You guys remember that movie Namaste London?
Yeah, but for me that's a bit. If I go to a matrimonial site and say कि यार I'm looking for a woman, but I want to test sexual compatibility first.
They don't.
भाई मेरा compatibility और तुम्हारा compatibility में मतलब जमीन आसमान का फर्क हो सकता है. I could be playing also, no?
Yeah, of course.
But इससे थोड़ा सा अगर नीचे जाते हैं तो we actually tried something like that which was not very accepted. So हम लोगों ने सीमेन टेस्ट किट बनाया था, तो उससे पता चल जाता था कि आपका सीमेन हेल्थ कैसा है. अब क्या है, बहुत सारी जगह पे सैडली आज भी लोग शादी बहुत, जब हम लोग Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5 टाउन की तरफ जाते हैं, इवन Tier 1 लोग शादी करते हैं और उनका नेक्स्ट थिंग होता है बच्चा पैदा करना है. एंड वहां पे अगर रिप्रोडक्टिव हेल्थ इश्यूज आ जाते हैं तो इट लीड्स टू सम टाइम डिवोर्सेस और शादी टूट जाती है, डिप्रेशन, एंजाइटी एंड लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स सुसाइड्स आल्सो. सो इन दीज कंडीशन हमने एक वो निकाला था कि with all these shadi.com and matrimony.com we can partner and we can actually do पहले से टेस्ट करके, बट हमें बहुत ज्यादा नेगेटिव बैकलैश मिला था इन कंपनीज से. बट आई एम वेरी सरप्राइज्ड. सो इफ दिस इज द केस I think write email to Anupam.
You should reach out again. Reach out again and see how to solve this problem.
See, it's I'm telling you a one-off case right now that I heard, but I do know कि ये ऐसे one-off ही पता चलता है and the next thing you know it's the norm.
See, I feel लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. I mean, if assuming a couple get together, they get together and they get married, and then they find out that their sexual compatibility is not really working, and maybe they've tried मतलब जो भी solutions है वगैरह वगैरह जो भी है to try and make it work, और फिर भी compatibility है नहीं, then I think it's a mature decision to make to see कि अगर ये तुम्हारी प्रायोरिटी है कि सेक्सुअल कंपैटिबिलिटी इज गुड, इफ इट्स अ प्रायोरिटी, और जैसे नीले ने कहा कि अगर कुछ ऐसी फैमिलीज होती है दे वांट किड्स एंड मे बी वन इज इनफर्टाइल and because of that marriages break up, then that's something which nobody can actually do anything about, and that's a decision that those couples will take on the spur of the moment at that point, which has to be a mature decision in whichever direction. You can't judge, you can't blame.
No, of course you can't, but it's still refreshing to know that at least people are open to talking about,
Definitely.
things that matter to them.
People should talk about everything about a relationship, I feel. People should actually be open and honest about everything, right from relationships to love to their sexual relationships and how they could maybe or maybe not be compatible. Because the more honest you are, the more you respect the person by being honest, the reciprocation of that would be good. कुछ लोग भी शायद इसको बुरा मानेंगे कि आप कैसे बात कर सकते हैं ऐसा, but I feel it's important to just talk and say कि what if it's this problem, or if the guy genuinely has a problem, if he has an issue, be it erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation, then they have to find solutions, because it hammers their confidence. Insecurities बहुत होती है, plays on their mind, and that leads to the problem becoming worse.
Yes,
because it's here. A lot of it is here, and if they could, companies like his, if they can help with solutions which are safe and good and not harmful in any way, then, and if it helps build a person's confidence, I think it's great.
So Nilay, tell me, like, are these products safe, and can a person sort of get these products without a prescription?
And how many times have you used it?
Tried and tested.
Tried and tested, and I think these products are quite safe.
You're shining.
I think that's the light, good lights they're using. So products are safe. So we do a lot of rigorous testing. As I said, the whole origin is from Janani, and we had that very good, back end of expertise where we were trying to solve reproductive health issues and all. So from that origin, the kind of products we're building right now, we have built in past, go through a lot of R&D. So we actually launched a product, and I'd like to give an example of that. And that shows how the market react. So we were studying about this premature ejaculation, used to get hundreds of calls. When we went back in the market to do research, we saw there are companies been in the market for last 25, 30 years selling products around premature ejaculation, form of sprays and gels. So we figured out there is a bit of a problem, एक स्प्रे है, आप उसको कहाँ लेके जाओगे, फिर उसके अपने अलग फ्रिक्शंस हैं कि फीमेल को पता चल जाएगा तुम क्या कर रहे हो, सेक्स से 40 मिनट पहले लगाना होता है. वी सेड हम कुछ ऐसा निकालते हैं जो आदमी का कॉन्फिडेंस ही बूस्ट करे, उसको शर्म भी नहीं आए लगाने में, और इफेक्टिव हो. तो हमने एक टिश्यू पेपर बनाया, एक वाइप बनाई which is called as pleaser delay wipe, and वो टिश्यू पेपर अपने पेनिस में लगाओ, and it eventually before your sexual activity आपका ejaculation को delay करती है. तो it was to solve for premature ejaculation, and हमने उसको launch किया around 8 months back, and the kind of response which we got was amazing. Like, this product in 7 months became a 1 crore plus monthly revenue product with hardly any marketing. हमने ज़्यादा कोई खास पैसे मार्केटिंग में नहीं डाले, लोगों को पता चलता गया, and people started using it, and we got like interesting feedback. And that day I realized कि यार ये बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है, क्योंकि इतनी बड़ी थी कि हमारा खुद का सप्लाई चेन भी फटा, क्योंकि हमने डिमांड इतनी प्रोजेक्ट नहीं करी थी, इतनी सर्च करेगी,
एंटिसिपेट नहीं करी,
कुछ आइडिया ही नहीं था कि प्रोडक्ट ऐसे जाएगा. तो उसमें फायदा क्या था, टिश्यू पेपर है, इजी टू कैरी है, कॉन्डोम जैसा दिखता है. आप टिश्यू पेपर सेक्स से पहले लगा रहे हो तो फीमेल आपका पार्टनर भी यही सोचेगा कि इट्स मोर ऑफ अ सैनिटाइजेशन, इट्स हाइजीनिक. तो वो सारी की सारी जो साइकी है कि जो आपका कॉन्फिडेंस गिरता है बाकी प्रोडक्ट लगाने से, सोचना पड़ता है, वो सारा सॉल्व कर देता है. एंड दैट डे रियलाइज कि यार ये बहुत बड़ा बिजनेस, बहुत बड़ा मार्केट है, बिकॉज एक्चुअली लॉट ऑफ मेन आर सफरिंग फ्रॉम दिस इशू. So yes, our products are 100% body safe. They are 100% research with the right licenses and other things. So yeah,
I've
And
seen
can
their,
be-
I've seen their products and I've seen
Yeah.
their packaging and everything, and it's pretty amazing actually. And the solutions they give you for all sorts of issues
Yeah.
to do with men is quite impressive. And yeah, so I really hats off to them for what they've done with their products.
so we have both natural. All the products are mostly OTC.
Okay.
Couple of them are prescription products as well, where we have set of doctors who help to write the prescription if required.
Right.
But most of them are OTC in nature, which are, we have nutraceuticals, then we have, I was just mentioning about this product like wipes, and then we have sprays also and gels also. Interestingly, 3 days back, we just launched our new category because we were getting a lot of response that why you're not getting into, category which can serve the masses and more people get to know about your brand. So I'll take the liberty on this podcast to, talk about this as well. So we launched a sub-brand called Tease.
Okay.
And Tease, the name itself is quite teasing. So we've launched new kind of condoms in there. There's a lot of research and R&D going into condom, and we are actually going to bring in next 3 months some crazy, amazing, never heard about condoms. Then we are launching a complete, a sex toy category into that. We are already launched lube into that. So it's more about, more playful in nature.
Right.
So the business will have one of a pharma section where all these are products. And then there is a category called Tease, where everything is going to be more playful in nature, because we want to also cater to larger audience who can connect with us, come to a platform, understand what we are doing, buy the products and experience it.
Yeah.
So we want to make, sex more beautiful. Our name is kindly. So we believe in that more, kindness in
Respectful.
sex, respectful sex.
Yes. And like I was asking these guys throughout the podcast, what makes a man confident, what makes a man sexy. As a woman, I can tell you that, chivalry and kindness goes a long way.
It goes the longest way. The more
Yes.
respect, the more kind you are to anybody.
Yeah.
It
Agreed.
really goes a long way.
Yeah.
I feel a lot of men need to start being nicer, respecting of women.
Yeah.
It just goes a long way. There's a way to approach a woman.
Yes.
Just be more nice, kind, and respectful, and they will reciprocate love or kindness to you.
Yeah.
But you're rude or you're harsh or you're
You're trying to be hot and cold. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Even the coolest guy, the most macho man, the biggest action star, they've got to be kind, nice, and chivalrous.
Yes.
And that's how it's been ingrained in our DNA over the years, and it should continue to be. So there should be no change in that. Even though we are all evolving, I feel always be respectful to a woman, kind to a woman, and chivalrous to a woman. Always. I think that works. And then, people go a longer way in relationships by just being nice.
Yeah, I agree. And the kind of change that is welcome is probably the kind that you're getting into the market. Because, even let's talk about sex toys for that matter. So many men, and again, Reddit, okay, they talk about it. They go and share that, including a sex toy in your sexual life, they feel a little threatened. Because they feel that they won't be the ones giving the pleasure.
They're
right?
not sufficient
They're
enough.
not sufficient. And imagine, partner simply sharing that I want to try this. They might feel, am I not enough? But there's also another, side of people who say that, they are friends, not foe. Toys in bed.
Yeah.
They're friends, not foe.
Yeah.
And, it's all about changing that,
This
having
mind-
that
it's
mind shift.
Mind shift, yeah.
Just a mindset.
Yeah.
If you can make, especially in a relationship, if you can make sex more fun and enjoyable rather than just something to do, get over it, finish, and done with.
Yeah.
I mean, some people obviously only want to have sex just to have kids. Some people find the enjoyment in it. So the more you keep it fun and light and easy, I guess your relationship and your partnership with the person will also be fantastic.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of just making it like another job or
Yeah.
we've got only this much time, finish, and don't
Yeah.
even look at the
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Right? So I guess everyone learns differently and knows differently.
Yeah.
But the more fun you bring into it, whether it's toys or whatever it is, or find solutions for your problems, and be honest about it and talk about it to your partner. Your partner's not going. I mean, if your partner actually loves you and wants to help you, they will. And the more you're honest and open about it, I think they will help you solve your problem far easier.
100%.
And I feel any man or any woman in a relationship, not a situationship, in a relationship, should be open about whatever there is, be truthful about it, as horrible as it may sound, right? Or for fear of being judged, even if you're going to be judged at the back of somebody's mind. Doesn't matter. You're being honest and straight about it. And if they're there to help you, they will help you.
And on behalf of, like people out there, there's one question that I would like to ask both of you. Yeah, and like you also said, it's okay to have the hard conversations. But what are some things that you need to keep in mind to actually have that hard conversation? How to have that hard conversation?
It depends what conversations we're having. Is it purely about sex or is it about more than that?
Let's take both use case.
I think anything which is more have been around a taboo, you have to think that एटलीस्ट दिमाग में होना चाहिए कि यार ना वो मुझे जज करेगा ना मैं उसको जज करूंगा, तो वो एक जजमेंटल इमोशन जो दिमाग से है वो निकाल देना होगा, तभी यू कैन गो एंड टॉक टू समबडी. अब उसमें हो सकता है कि सामने वाला तुम्हें जज कर ले, बट दैट इज नॉट इन योर, दैट्स द रीजन पीपल प्रेफर टॉकिंग टू डॉक्टर्स एंड साइकियाट्रिस्ट जिनको आप नहीं जानते हो. बाकी रेगुलर चीज़ों में भी आई थिंक इट्स मोर और लेस सेम. मतलब इफ आई नो द पर्सन, आई ट्रस्ट हिम, मेरा उस पर ट्रस्ट है, मैं उसको जानता हूँ एज अ फ्रेंड, आई एम गोना टॉक अबाउट इट. नहीं तो स्ट्रेंजर्स, पीपल टॉक टू स्ट्रेंजर्स एंड साइकियाट्रिस्ट एंड ऑल. आयुष्मान खुराना की मूवी इतनी सक्सेसफुल इसलिए हुई थी, उसमें ये पॉइंट बहुत अच्छा दिखाया गया
डिसफंक्शन के ऊपर.
नहीं, नॉट इरेक्टाइल डिसफंक्शन, जिसमें वो लड़की बन के बात करता है.
ओह अच्छा,
उसमें वो दिखाया ना, पीपल आर वेरी लोनली, दे रियली. There's some movie I forgot.
क्या नाम था उस मूवी का गाइस?
कौन सी? वो
आयुष्मान खुराना becomes a girl and talks.
वो
पूजा.
हाँ करेक्ट.
मैं पूजा बात कर रही हूँ.
करेक्ट वो प्यार वाली बात है.
हाँ, so उसमें एक चीज बहुत अच्छा दिखाया गया था कि because he says कि लोग इतने अकेले हैं, उनके खुद के रिलेशन खराब है, उनको लोग जज करते हैं. If you go and talk to somebody, people judge you, so they prefer going and dialing those numbers and talk to some random stranger.
क्योंकि I think वो loneliness
is
it's a big problem.
It's a big problem.
Big problem. Loneliness
in men, I feel like, is the silent epidemic that is coming.
And they pick up the phone and speak to unknown women या men who pretend to be women, और अपनी पूरी जिंदगी के बारे में बात करते हैं लोग. Because कहीं ना कहीं उनको एक मिलता है lightness. Then when you talk, you get light, like that's why
मन हल्का हो जाता है.
So that's why people talk. So I feel any conversation to do with relationships, sex, whether it's the man or woman, it's a very tough conversation. बहुत मुश्किल है, और ये change होता जा रहा है but slowly. So because if you look only at our country, it's so vast, and there's an urban India, there's a semi-urban India, there's a middle India, there's a lower middle India, and there's a rural India. And you're trying to address everyone who's brought up with so many different mindsets, cultural background, religious beliefs, which have, and stories from their parents, which is so tough to try and figure out कि कैसे बात करें. Right? I mean, we are urban, we're doing this podcast ताकि कुछ लोग ये सुन सकते हैं, and hopefully we'll take something away from it. जहाँ रूरल इंडिया में रहते हैं उनको वो मौका ही कहाँ मिलता है to get some advice as to इस प्रॉब्लम को मैं कैसे सॉल्व करूँ, दिल को हल्का मैं कैसे करूँ, किससे बात करूँ. Right? So it's tough. It's a very tough place to be. I can tell you right now, yes, everyone should have that conversation. किसी की वजह, मतलब पेरेंट्स के साथ या तुम्हारे दोस्तों के साथ या कोई मैच्योर पर्सन के साथ जो आपको सही एडवाइस दे सकते हैं. अगर यू आर यंग एंड किसी तुम्हारे दोस्त के साथ अगर बात करेंगे, then they won't know how to advise you. Parents also who are maybe not very forward thinking, वो कैसे एडवाइस देंगे? Right? So who gives you the advice? You, and fortunately आजकल भी fortunately नहीं, but information इतनी ज्यादा है. There is conflicting theories on everything.
Misinformation.
Yes, that is true.
और misinformation में यकीन कर लेते हैं. वो भी मान जाते, ये भी मान जाते, तो how is it's confusion. So it's tough. But if you have the opportunity to talk to someone who's maybe educated in the field of giving advice, psychiatrist, how many do you get? इन साइकाइट्रिस्ट में एक वो है कि एक अगर तुम्हारा दिमाग खराब है तभी जाएंगे साइकाइट्रिस्ट के पास
वहाँ पे भी एक इनहिबिशन है कि नहीं जाएंगे
नहीं
because
जाएंगे कि मैं
उनको
पागल
feel
तो
होता
नहीं
है, हाँ
मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन बहुत ज्यादा है. इवन मेरी कैटेगरी जो है उसमें तो सबसे ज्यादा मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन.
आई थिंक सबसे ज्यादा मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन पॉर्न ने क्रिएट करी है आपकी कैटेगरी में,
सही बात है.
ज्यादा
अनरियलिस्टिक स्टैंडर्ड्स हैव बीन सेट फॉर बोथ मेन एंड वुमेन.
मैं आपको अपना हर दिन का हम लोगों को बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है, एज अ बिजनेस में भी लॉस होता है कि हम लोग ना काफी बीच में कमेंट्स आने लग जाते हैं कि प्रोडक्ट में हमने प्रोडक्ट बनाया है डीले के लिए, तो जिस बंदे को इरेक्टाइल डिसफंक्शन का इशू है वो ये प्रोडक्ट को यूज नहीं करना चाहिए. अब मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन मार्केट में ऐसे फैली हुई है कि इरेक्शन एंड इजैकुलेशन आर सेम थिंग. ये मार्केट का इंफॉर्मेशन है और ये बहुत ज्यादा फैला हुआ है कि द लॉन्गर द इरेक्शन इज it will leads to ejaculation same way. Actually these scientifically these are different problems. So क्या होता है, कुछ लोग जिनको आइडिया नहीं है वो इस प्रोडक्ट को लेते हैं और उनको इरेक्शन इशू है और उस पे ये सोचते हैं कि इस टिश्यू से उनका इरेक्शन होगा,
बट वो इजैकुलेशन
के लिए बना है, तो वो उल्टा काम कर जाता है. तो वो हमें फिर आके सुनाते हैं कि तुम्हारा तो हमने ना मार्केट में डीप डाइव किया, इन लोगों से बात करने की कोशिश करी, तो रियलाइज हुआ कि यार ये बहुत ज्यादा इस इंडस्ट्री में मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन फैला. मास्टरबेशन इज द बिगेस्ट मिस. यूट्यूब का हाईएस्ट सर्च कीवर्ड है कि मास्टरबेशन करने से मसल लॉस होता है क्या, मास्टरबेशन करने से हड्डियां कमजोर होती हैं क्या, मास्टरबेशन करने से ये होता है क्या.
There's an entire theory and trends on it, you know, like fap or no fap, what do you believe in?
Yes.
Like should you or should you not, basically. But a lot of people, like nobody's ever, like there's no scientific backing that says that it's bad or detrimental to health. Of course, एक लिमिट से ज्यादा कुछ भी करोगे तो वो बुरा है.
Of course,
but वहाँ भी conflicting theories हैं.
हाँ, वहाँ पे भी conflicting
कुछ
theories
डॉक्टर्स कहते हैं कि अच्छा है कर लो, कुछ कहते हैं कि डॉक्टर्स नहीं, कुछ वैसे
Hakims and all, if you go to these people, they will generally say ये गलत है and all, but yeah.
You know, so it's just very tough situation.
Yeah.
And जितना हम कर सकते हैं, जैसे ये podcast, his company,
yes,
to help find some solutions and to try and reach out to as many people as possible to tell them कि बात कर लो, जहाँ तुम्हें confident लगता है वही बात कर लो, किसी के साथ जो तुम्हारे सीनियर है, जो तुम्हें एडवाइस दे सकते हैं. स्पीक अबाउट इट, डोंट नॉट स्पीक अबाउट इट. इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट टू टॉक अबाउट इट बिकॉज देन you will start building confidence. You will be secure about yourself. Your personality, your character gets better. It all stems from just being a little open about your problems.
Yeah.
And, you know, the last question that I'll ask both of you guys is that, you know, since a lot of young people, young impressionable minds watch this space, so, you know, if you had to give them some tips to sort of feel better as a man, feel more confident, feel more, you know, together as a man, then what would be those tips? And they could be anything. For example, you know, a lot of people, they don't put a lot of value to just how important maybe a physical workout also is.
Yes.
Because unless you put in the work, whether it's diet or gym, you won't really get the result, right? You can't look like, for example, a Dino Morea without putting in the work that a Dino Morea puts in. So, you know, if I just had to ask you for like quick tips, both of you.
I can take this and then Dino can talk because I'm gonna give his reference. And definitely, I believe in that. So I've seen with my, you know, my own things. So last 3 महीने से मैं खुद वर्कआउट नहीं कर पाया. Got a major shoulder injury, so मेरी सर्जरी होनी है. And इसकी वजह से I've started getting a lot of mood swings. You know, I'm not in a very good mood always. काम का प्रेशर है तो मेरे को बहुत ज्यादा ना तड़प हो रही है कि मुझे जिम वापस जाना है because and see this guy, you know, he looks the same. When I saw him for the first time, you know, with Musu Musu Hasi song, the original Valentine Day song, and he still looks the same, I think. And that's where the whole confidence, you know, when I said self-love, you know, आप अपने आप से प्यार कर रहे हो. And I know Dino for long now, so he loves himself also. But self is very important.
Very important.
Very important. So you can see that glow from, you know, when this movie came, Mus Mus Haisi,
99.
99.
That's 2000.
The
99, 99,
no,
2000, 99.
99.
I remember Raz.
Raz.
I really
Yeah.
loved that
Razado.
movie.
Yeah. So from 1999 and his those early model pictures, if you see,
Yeah.
and I generally tease him, also send his old pictures. I'm like, bhai, kaise? How is it possible? And I think this inculcate a lot of confidence on you into multiple things. Like, you will be doing good in your life, in your work, in your business, as an overall people love you. And I think this is one, I would not say suggestion, but I think this is something all the young people should do. Love yourself, work out, eat healthy, eat nice, and have some close friends, and always be close to your family, mom, dad, your sister, brother, your wife. I think that relationship, the close knit relationship, is also very important to, lead that life.
Yeah.
Itni taarif ki. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I have a few points. I obviously have to thank my parents mostly because they encouraged me to play a lot of sport. Me and my brothers. Bachpan se, school
What would you
se.
play?
Oh, I used to play tennis professionally. I played basketball, football for my school, university,
Wow.
athletics. So any sport, me and my brothers on the field, taking part, win or lose, but we were there. Every day of our lives, we played. And now it's become a habit. But why I would encourage parents to tell their kids, or why I would tell kids right now to at least do some form of exercise, because ना सिर्फ body के लिए, mental health के लिए exercise बहुत बहुत अहम है. I can't explain it scientifically, but I know from experience, when you start feeling good by playing a sport or just doing some exercise every day, when you sweat, when you go, when you shower, you look at yourself in the mirror, you start feeling good about your body, your physical appearance. सबसे पहले वो.
Your sexual health. Testosterone scientifically have been
It
proven.
helps
Right.
everything. Your thinking is clear when you get out. Pay attention to yourself, most importantly. Like you said, I love myself. I do love myself. I wake up in the morning, I look at myself as I love you. I do. I work out. I take care of myself. I take care of the food I eat. I take care of, like he said, so important to have friends, community,
Yeah.
parents, right? Have a conversation. Build that community, because you just hear so many things. Don't be stuck on the phone. Don't be stuck on the laptops. Don't be stuck on that. Community helps you become a bigger person, a more mature person, a wiser person.
Yeah.
You listen. Keep listening. So you build these few things, right? You work on yourself. You eat correctly. Have a great group of friends. Just love yourself. Yeah. There's nothing else that could make you. People have problems. We all have problems. Put it aside. Because if you work on yourself, things just work out. Put those problems aside. However serious it is, it will take your mind space for some time. But if you can push it away and give yourself 2 to 3 hours every day just for you, the way you dress up, make an effort. Hygiene,
Yeah.
make an effort.
Yeah.
You put on a nice shirt, nice trousers, jeans, shorts, look good, feel good, clean yourself,
Yes.
feel good, brush your teeth, feel good, wash your face, feel good, exercise, feel good. These all feel good factors. And I'm not saying it because you have to do it because that's the routine, because you will actually feel good about yourself. And when you start feeling good, people notice. And somebody will say, और जब ये बोलेंगे ना कि अच्छा लग रहा है, सही शर्ट है, बाल सही है, फ्रेश लग रहे हो, it makes you feel a little good. Ego
Yeah.
feels better.
Yes.
फिर तुम सोचोगे कि यार
Confidence.
ये वो किया इसलिए ऐसा हूँ. You'll do it more.
Yeah.
And once you get into that habit and that routine, you'll see more and more people complimenting you. Then you want to learn more. You'll feel अच्छा काम किया. Why are you moving ahead in the race now?
Yeah.
You're moving ahead in the race because you're paying attention to yourself. You're making an effort.
Yeah.
You make an effort, people will notice. You don't make an effort, they will
Nobody will.
notice. They will notice you're not making an effort. But कुछ तारीफ नहीं करेंगे.
Yeah.
Some will say, "तू क्या कर रहा है? You're becoming fat. तू इतना lazy क्यों?" And that will degrade you. But then you have to realize, okay, they're not saying nice things. I should do something about it. ऐसा नहीं कि उसने कुछ बुरा कमेंट किया मेरे ऊपर.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Constructive, but we
Very,
don't take
very
it
important
constructively
Yes.
ना.
Yes.
In that
हम ऐसे
moment
नहीं
ऐसा
लेते
feel
हैं.
होता है कि attack.
हाँ, हम लगता है कि यार ये मेरे बारे में ऐसा क्यों बोल रहे हैं. And I feel dissuaded. नहीं जिम नहीं जाऊँगा. Yeah, I will not take care of my clothes. I will just start working on yourself. Most importantly, you work on yourself, pay attention to yourself, make an effort. You will do well.
Yes.
And the last point I want to add, because your audience is more young, I think एक चीज बहुत important है. I've seen, and because मेरे साथ भी हुआ है, and I always tell to my younger brother कि ना ये प्रॉब्लम्स ना कुछ ही देर की होती हैं, कुछ दिन कुछ सालों की हो सकती हैं, लाइफ टाइम नहीं रहती हैं. एंड व्हेन यू लुक बिहाइंड देन यू रियलाइज कि यार ये क्या था यार, मतलब इसके लिए रो रहे थे, मतलब इसके लिए परेशान हो रहे थे, अरे ये तो ऐसे आया ऐसे ही चला गया. आई थिंक दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू हैव दैट माइंडसेट कि ठीक है, प्रॉब्लम्स यू नो, इफ यू विल हैव अ just everything which is सब कुछ अच्छा है, it becomes like bland life, you know, you can't eat the same food every day.
Yeah.
We are humans.
Yeah, that's
So I
true.
think problems are very much important. It helps you groom yourself, even help you build your own confidence.
Yeah.
If you take that thing constructively, even your criticism, and you don't have to have vengeance on everything. कि मतलब I've seen is, you know, guys and girls कि एक vengeance mentality है
कि मैं इसको करके दिखाऊंगा, वो mindset
थोड़ा I think it's a bit wrong. Rather than vengeance, it should be more कि यार मेरे को करना है, किसके लिए करना है, अपने लिए करना है. मेरा तो लाइफ में फंडा बहुत क्लियर है, मैं जो करता हूँ मैं किसी को नहीं दिखा रहा, मेरे को अपने लिए करना है. I love myself, so I want to do for myself. I think this is something which is two bits की this kind of mindset helps you grow a lot in your life.
Yeah. Fair enough. And you know, it was lovely talking to both of you today. And we've learned a lot about, you know, loving ourselves and, well, kindly loving ourselves. actually. Kindly
loving ourselves, which is very good.
Thank
this
you
has
so
been
much,
wonderful.
Dino.
It's been a great conversation.
Yeah.
actually.
Thank you so much. Thanks
I've
a lot.
enjoyed
Thank
it.
you so much. I've learned a lot about sexual wellness, and I think
Have you?
Dino has learned a lot about Reddit.
Yes.
You should go and check out your
gonna go and
Reddit.
check
Make
out
an
Reddit
account.
now.
Don't make with your own name. I can give you some suggestions.
No, I don't need suggestions. I'll go read it and see what people are talking
Yeah,
about.
I'll just show it to you.
Maybe it's interesting. You never know.
I'll send you some Reddit pages to.
Chal, मेरे को जाना है. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank you so
It was
much, guys. It
wonderful.
was lovely having you guys.
Bye,
Thank
pleaser.
you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Go,
Bye.
pleaser.